at a minimum, you got to get a control on what you can handle, right? You know what I'm saying? You knock out that consumer debt, dollar cost average, your lifestyle.
It's tough to say no,
you know what I mean?
right?
You start doing the shit Vince Young was doing, or Adrian Peterson, you know what I'm saying? And I'm only calling out stories that are public. Like my man.
Oh, Adrian Peterson went broke, right?
Oh man, shut this last year. And mind you, he's on the back part of his career. I want to say he's like 35. 34 in the NFL, that's considered old unless you Tom Brady or quarterback or,
right,
whatever. He's a running back, and their lifespan in the league is already shorter. But yeah, the paperwork came out, and he had over $9 million in debt from, loans and mortgage products and stuff like that. And he signed like a 1.8 for 1 year. So it's like, my man has to play. And even with playing, he's probably playing
too much.
He's probably playing just to make the minimum payments to his creditors, and then hopefully can make a play to get out. But I don't know, like this stuff be happening to athletes, and you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the Bill Wang joint we just did, but on a smaller scale. Like he had 20 billion and leveraged more than that, like 30 billion. All right, these players will make 10 million. But they'll leverage 35 million because they'll have a mansion in Miami. They'll have a mansion in LA. They'll have, a $20,000 dog, and then just 4 Lamborghinis and 2 Ferraris. And
it's tough to say no,
you know what I mean?
Right? Like it's super crazy. So, I mean, like most of y'all like laugh, right? But I mean, Mac, like you can attest to this, right? Like you could, like even when we go on like vacation with stuff, right? Like we did Cabo in December, right?
Yep.
What I do usually before like vacation, don't I usually prepay it?
You do.
Like I usually like I don't go on vacation unless it's paid for in cash. Like you can ask all my friends. Like I Venmo them, I'd be like, all right, how much is for the hotel? All right, you handle that. And yes, I can get points and all that stuff. I'm just super cognizant of going in debt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think I got like $1,500 on my credit card that I can pay off tomorrow. And that's because I just bought new studio equipment. Right. I have no f***ing debt. I have like no a little bit of student loans. That's it. Yeah. I'm that paranoid. And I got money to spend, but when I'm going on, like this already paid for.
Right.
Like, right?
And that's a learning experience.
Like you can speak, like you can speak to it. Like all my friends could be like, oh, if you go on a vacation with Kay, he gonna tell you we're gonna start 6 months early. We're gonna calculate what the whole vacation's worth.
No, for sure.
And we're gonna pay up front with our bi-weekly money. No credit cards, no nothing.
You were dollar cost averaging before it was a thing. And I give you that because you implement that in the vacation. And we, people him on, but it's gonna let you know where people stand too. Because let's be real, you see all these memes and jokes about like, black people planning a trip and it's 12 people on the group text. Then a picture of people on the trip is 3 people there, right? Yeah. But we avoid that because we know where everyone stands months in advance because we are bi-weekly putting on it and doing this and that, and that comes from learning experience,
from just like financial learning, like it's spending 15, 20 racks. The amount doesn't matter, but we spend a good amount on vacation. But what I would say is that it's not irresponsibly spent. We don't overspend. Yeah. And yes, it could be like 15, 20 grand between all of us or whatever. But it's usually like, the hotel going to be X amount, but it's all like covered. Right. And so when you come home, there's no debt, there's nothing,
exactly.
Right? And so
and I've been through that ringer in the early 20s. That's why I learned. So like, to your point, right? Even the small credit card debt we have now is paid off every month before the statement date. So now I know the ratios, I know utilization, I know about credit. But before, when I finally got out of consumer debt, I was scared to death to go back. So I never just run it up no more, right? I never just run it up. So now it's like, talking to somebody who may be drowning in debt and trying to get out of it, like
that's how.
This is where I'm like, okay, because we made a video about Dave Ramsey, right? About the things we disagree with. But I agree with his 7-step baby system, steps 1 and 2, put aside an emergency fund and be very aggressive towards consumer debt. Where I start to disagree with them is the investing and pay your house in full type of stuff. But like, at a minimum, you got to get a control on what you can handle, right? You know what I'm saying? You knock out that consumer debt and then you figure out ways to dollar cost average your lifestyle. If there's not enough money there to do the things we're talking about, I would defer to, something that you always talk about, which is investing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Put some money into whatever you're striving to be. Like if we're IT guys, so, you want to break into IT, invest in courses and coaching and certifications and pick a skill set, become knowledgeable. You know, if you're of age or want to do the school thing, go to school, get a degree. Do online classes, get some experience, take an entry-level job, even if it's not the money you want, on the side, just to get the experience. That's an investment in yourself. So if the things that we're talking about are like at a point where you're like, yeah, all that stuff sounds great. Y'all talking about just pay off my credit card debt. I can't just do that. It's like, well, why? Because you got to take some accountability and say, like, what decisions am I making to put myself in the best position to get to the point where, like, I can pay off my consumer debt, dollar cost average my lifestyle, start investing and get where I need to go.